Hello friends, welcome to APM Stats Connect. This is our first video on testing of hypothesis lectures. In this video, we will discuss the basic notions of testing of hypothesis and different situations where we use testing. So once again, welcome to this lecture. So first, let's see what is testing of hypothesis means, or what are the situations where we use testing of hypothesis. For that, let's consider a random sample. Let x is equal to x1, x2, etc. xn be a random sample from f theta. Theta belongs to capital theta subset of Rn. Assume that the fundamental form of f theta is known except for parameter theta, and assume that capital theta contains at least 2 points, say theta naught and theta 1. So going to the first statement, let x equal to x1, x2, etc. xn be a random sample from f theta. Theta belongs to capital theta subset of R. Here capital F theta, it denotes the distribution of the population where we drawn the random sample capital X. For example, let's take a normal distribution with the mean theta and variance equal to 1. Okay, so we drawn a random sample from this distribution normal with the mean theta and variance 1. Here you can see a capital theta. It is the collection of all values that theta can assume, that is the parameter space. Okay, capital theta is the parameter space. For theta here, in this example, the parameter space of theta is the set of real numbers. Because the mean of normal population, it can assume any values from minus infinity to plus infinity. So the parameter space of theta in this example is the set of real line, the whole real line. And similarly, if we consider the distribution normal with the mean 0 and variance sigma square, then the parameter space is the positive side, 0 to infinity. Okay, which is again a subset of Rn. Then the second statement, it is assume that the fundamental form of f theta is known except for the parameter theta. So the fundamental form of f theta means we know the distribution of population is normal with the mean theta and variance 1, but we don't know what is the actual value of theta, or the value of theta is not unknown. Okay, assume that the fundamental form of theta is known except for parameter theta. That is, we know the distribution of population is normal with the mean theta and variance 1, but the value of theta, it is not known. We don't know anything about we don't have any information about the value of parameter theta. And the most important point is that assume that capital theta, our parameter space, contains at least 2 points, say theta naught and theta 1. Suppose our parameter space contains only 1 point, then it is certain that capital theta belongs to capital theta naught, or is equal to capital theta naught. So there is no uncertainty. It is certain that theta will equal to capital theta naught, and there is no need of testing. Clear? So, for example, let's consider exercise, which is a random sample from normal with the mean theta and variance 1, where theta belongs to the set of real numbers is not known. In many practical problems, the experimenter is interested in testing the validity of an assertion about the unknown parameter theta. For example, in a coin tossing experiment, it is of interest to test whether the probability of head P equal to a given number P naught, where 0 less than P naught less than 1. So, in testing of hypothesis, we are interested to test whether the parameter value, or in this case of coin tossing problem, the probability of head is equal to a given number P naught, where 0 less than P naught less than 1, since it is a probability. Okay, so a problem of this type, that is, we are testing a statement about the parameter theta. Actually, here we are testing a statement about the parameter theta, whether P equal to P naught or P equal to some 1 by 2. That is, the probability of head is equal to 1 by 2, or it is less than 1 by 2, or equal to some other values. Okay, so a problem of this type is usually referred to as problem of testing of hypothesis. That is, we are testing a statement about the parameter theta. We are testing whether P equal to the probability of head P equal to some given value P naught. So the value P naught is already known, and we are testing whether P equal to P naught, and here the condition is 0 less than P naught less than 1, because P is the probability. It is the probability of occurrence of head. So it lies between 0 and 1. Okay, so this statement, that is the statement about the parameter theta, it is basically known as hypothesis. So let's move on to the definition of hypothesis. A statistical hypothesis which refers only to the numerical value of unknown parameters of a random variable is called a parametric hypothesis. Okay, so there are two types of hypothesis, basically parametric hypothesis and non-parametric hypothesis. Suppose our statement, that is whether we are testing theta equal to 1 by 2. Suppose our statement is of the form theta equal to 1 by 2 or theta equal to some theta naught. Then we are testing the numerical value of this unknown parameter. Okay, so our statement is about the numerical value of the parameter. So such type of hypothesis is known as parametric hypothesis. Basically, parametric hypothesis is any statement about the parameter theta. Okay, so we are testing the numerical values of the unknown parameter, that is whether theta equal to 1 by 2 or the probability of head P equal to 1 by 2, like that. A hypothesis which refers to the form of an unknown distribution is called a non-parametric hypothesis. This non-parametric hypothesis is used when the distribution of the population is not clearly specified. So we make the statement, or the hypothesis will be in terms of the unknown distribution. In such cases, the hypothesis is known as non-parametric hypothesis. Okay, so in this video, we'll make discussions about the parametric hypothesis. We will only consider parametric hypothesis condition, that is about the numerical value of unknown parameter. An hypothesis which is to be tested is known as null hypothesis, which is denoted by H naught. Theta belongs to theta naught. So this is the basic notation of null hypothesis, H naught, such that theta belongs to theta naught. Okay, so consider the example of coin tossing problem, and we are testing whether the probability of head is equal to 1 by 2. Okay, so the null hypothesis will be of the form H naught P equal to 1 by 2. So here we are testing the statement about the parameter P. Here capital theta, in this example capital theta naught is the set of all P such that P equal to 1 by 2. Okay, so both these statements are equivalent. Basically, the capital theta naught and theta 1 are subsets of parameter space capital theta, and which are disjoint. Theta naught and theta 1 are both disjoint. And while testing the null hypothesis, if we reject the null hypothesis, we have to accept an under hypothesis. That hypothesis is known as alternative hypothesis and is denoted by H1. Theta belongs to theta 1, which is equal to capital theta minus theta naught, because theta 1 and theta naught are disjoint. So theta 1 equal to capital theta, the parameter space, minus capital theta naught. This is the alternative hypothesis. So suppose we are testing this null hypothesis against the alternative hypothesis H1 such that p less than 1 by 2. Okay, so our null hypothesis is such that p equal to 1 by 2 and our alternative hypothesis is p less than 1 by 2. Okay, so in this case, the parameter space theta 1 is equal to the set of all p such that p less than 1 by 2. Okay, so suppose we are accepting the null hypothesis H0 such that p equal to 1 by 2. It is clear, it gives a clear statement about the value of p, the parameter p, it is equal to 1 by 2. In some situation, we may reject this hypothesis, that is, we are accepting the alternative hypothesis. Then the value of p is less than 1 by 2. We are accepting this hypothesis, then we are not getting an exact value of p, but we have an information about the value of parameter that it is less than 1 by 2. Okay, so there are two different situations where we get an exact information about the numerical value of parameter p, or sometimes it may not be, the informations may not be completed. In such way, we can classify the hypothesis as simple and composite hypothesis. If the distribution of capital X is completely specified by the hypothesis, then it is known as simple hypothesis. That is, again taking an example of normal distribution with the mean theta and variance 1, and suppose we are testing the null hypothesis that theta is equal to a known value theta naught. Okay, so theta naught is a known value, the null hypothesis H naught, theta equal to theta naught against H1, theta equal to theta 1. Okay, suppose we accept our null hypothesis, then it is clear that the value of theta is theta naught. Then the information about the population is completely known, that the samples are drawn from a population with the mean theta naught and variance 1. Okay, so the distribution, the information about the population distribution of the random sample, or the distribution of sample, is completely specified by accepting the null hypothesis. Similarly, if we accept the alternative hypothesis, we get theta equal to theta 1. Then in that case, the distribution of capital X, our random sample, will be normal with the mean theta 1 and variance 1. Okay. In general, if we accept any one of these hypotheses, that is either null hypothesis or alternative hypothesis, we get an exact value of theta, that is theta equal to theta naught or theta equal to theta 1. We get an exact information about the parameter theta, and hence distribution of capital X is completely specified. Such type of hypothesis is known as simple hypothesis. If the theta naught and theta 1 contains only one point, okay, we have the general notation H naught, theta belongs to theta naught, capital theta naught against H1, theta belongs to capital theta 1. Okay, suppose theta naught and theta 1 contains only one point, and let the points, okay, so capital theta naught is equal to the set theta naught Okay, so the point in capital theta naught is denoted by small theta naught, and capital theta 1, it is equal to set small theta 1. Okay, so suppose so theta naught and theta 1 both contains only one point. So this both hypothesis can be equivalently written as h naught theta equal to small theta naught against h1 theta equal to theta 1. That is, in this case, when theta naught and theta 1 contains only one point, both these hypotheses are equivalent. Okay, this type of hypothesis is known as simple hypothesis, that by accepting that hypothesis we get complete information about the distribution of random sample. Now if we accept, suppose our hypothesis, alternative hypothesis is of the form theta is less than theta naught, and by testing the hypothesis we came to the conclusion that to accept the alternative hypothesis, then the only information we have about the unknown parameter theta is that the value of theta is less than theta naught. Okay, so in such situation, distribution of capital X is not completely specified. Such type of hypothesis is known as composite hypothesis. Okay. So, hypothesis can be classified into simple and composite hypothesis. If the distribution is completely specified by the hypothesis, then it is simple, otherwise it is composite. Throughout the discussion, you may notice that we use two terms, accepting or rejecting the null hypothesis, or equivalently rejecting or accepting the alternative hypothesis. So, what is the criteria, or what thing make us to take such a decision to accept H naught or reject the null hypothesis? The answer is given by the next definition, critical region. Okay, let the random sample follows the distribution f theta. Theta belongs to capital theta, a subset capital C of Rn, such that if the vector x, that is the sample point, okay, the sample point belongs to capital C, then we reject the null hypothesis with the probability 1, is called the critical region. So the capital C, it is actually a subset of Rn, such that if our sample point belongs to the region capital C, we reject the null hypothesis with the probability 1. So capital C is the set of all points in Rn such that we reject the null hypothesis if the point X belongs to the region capital C. So we can divide the sample space into two, critical region or the rejection region. The critical region is also known as rejection region. So we can divide the sample space into two disjoint set. One is the critical or the rejection region, and the other is the acception region. If our sample point lies in rejection region, our decision is to reject the null hypothesis, and if our sample point lies in the acception region, then we accept the null hypothesis, okay, or we reject the alternative hypothesis. So in general, the problem of testing of hypothesis can be described as follows. Given a sample point x vector equal to x1, x2, etc., xn, we find a decision rule that will lead to reject or fail to reject the null hypothesis. That is, we partition the sample space into two disjoint sets C and C dash, such that if our sample points belongs to C, then we reject the null hypothesis with the probability 1, and if our sample point belongs to C dash, we fail to reject the null hypothesis, or it is H naught. Okay, we fail to reject the null hypothesis, that is we accept the null hypothesis H0. There are two types of errors that can be made. One is rejecting the null hypothesis when it is true, which is known as type 1 error, and is the major error. Or one may accept the null hypothesis when it is false and is called type 2 error. The null when H0 is true and we are accepting H0, it is a correct decision. H0 is true and we are accepting H1, it is a error which is known as type 1 error. When H1 is true and we are accepting H0, it is type 2 error, and H1 is true, we are accepting H1 is again a correct decision. So the possible two errors are type 1 and type 2 error. The major one is type 1 error. Now we consider the chances of occurrence of these errors, which is given by probability of type 1 error and probability of type 2 error. Okay, so for that, let capital C be the critical region, that is the rejection region. And if H0 is such that theta belongs to theta naught versus H1 theta belongs to theta 1. This is our problem of testing. Then the probability of type 1 error, that is the chance of occurrence of type 1 error, it is equal to the probability of type 1 error is actually we are rejecting the null hypothesis when it is true. So rejecting H0 given H0 is true. We reject the null hypothesis when our sample point lies in the critical region. So we replace it by x belongs to C given when H0 is true, we have theta belongs to capital theta naught. So it is given theta belongs to capital theta naught, or simply we can write this as probability of x belongs to C when theta belongs to theta naught. Okay, this is also another representation of the above expression. Similarly, we can find probability of type 2 error. It is the probability of type 2 error is accepting the null hypothesis when the alternative is true. So, probability of accepting H0 given H1 is true. We accept H0 if the sample points lies in the acception region. X belongs to C dash. Given H1 is true, then we have theta belongs to theta 1. So this can also written as probability of x belongs to C dash given theta belongs to capital theta 1. That is, we would like to find a critical region for which both the probability of type 1 error and probability of type 2 error are 0. If a critical region is such that the probability of type 1 error is 0, it will be of the form do not reject H0. No, because the probability of type 1 error is the probability of rejecting H0, and if it is equal to 0, then it will be of the form do not reject H0, and the probability of type 2 error will be 1. Therefore, we limit the probability of type 1 error to a pre-assigned level alpha, that is small, and to minimize the probability of type 2 error. So I think it's enough for today. You can post your suggestions in the comment box. Thank you all for watching and keep supporting. Thank you.